I would make a motion that the appeal be accepted with one resubmission to be made to the Ethics Commission by October 29th. Do we need to focus on what's in what you want to leave it at? Okay. All right. Second.
May I add something to that? I mean, if it's possible to ask the executive directors whose staff has done an excellent job and is, very, certainly has a lot to do with, if they could try and turn around a response within, say, 3 business days.
We'll do it, but we're not putting that in the motion. You're pushing your luck.
Okay.
Can we say that you'll respond before the election?
Yeah.
That seems. So I'd add that to the motion.
So I still have to ask for public comment. So is there public comment? And understand if I may leave before it's over.
I do have a couple. I have a comment before we vote. But are you taking public comment?
Yes, we have to take public.
No,
We can't. We have actually have to take public comment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. I'll keep my comments brief, but I think it's important to go on and get this on the record. My name is Jeremy Paul, and I have several things I plan to address to this board. I'm glad you have taken the choice to make the decision you have, but I think it's important that the way that this resubmittal is reviewed is consistent with the legislation that authorized this public campaign finance legislation. The purpose and intent, section 1.100 of this actual legislation, has very clear direction, and the discretion that's exercised by the department must be with taking the direction of the purpose and intent of this legislation. If the purpose and intent of the legislation, number 2, is to ensure that all individuals and interest groups in our city have fair opportunity to participate in elective and governmental processes. Number 4 is to reduce the advantage of incumbents and thus encourage competition for elective office. Number 6 is to ensure that serious candidates are able to raise enough money to communicate their views and positions adequately to the public, thereby promoting public discussion of the important issues involved in political campaigns. I could quote a couple others, but I think it's a very important thing for the staff of this agency to keep in mind why this legislation exists and why all these people made these political contributions, many of them for their very first political contributions they ever had, because there are ideas that are out of the mainstream that need to be expressed and enter the mainstream. And funding available through public finance is the way that those ideas can enter this mainstream. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for the vote that you're taking, and I appreciate the work of the Ethics Commission staff.
Any further public comment?
Just a couple of comments with regard to our overturning the determination of the executive director, and I'm just going to give you the benefit of my thoughts here. To me, the sole proprietorship issue is a non-starter. Commissioner Harriman reminds me that we did take that vote, I believe it was last year, where we ruled on that issue. It's precedent. I think that we have to stick to it. And then with regard to the cash contributions of $100, that also seems to be fairly well set and established in the law. So I would focus your energies on the PayPal issue, where it seems everyone is on board that that's something that needs to have a second or a third or a fourth look at. And certainly the typographic errors issue, I'm very sympathetic to, but just in terms of, so you all can focus your energies in this resubmission, and if it does somehow come back to us in some strange way, that's what I'm thinking.
I certainly agree on the $100 cash, the actual $100 cash contributions. That's what the law says. It's not an issue.
Let me just say that was the intent of my motion, and I did not specify it, but that was certainly the intent. So I think that's understood by the commission and the candidate.
Okay, so we've had a motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gross.